Figures of thought or speech. Metaphor. A figure of speech that directly compares two unlike things by stating that one thing is another without using like or as. Tenor or vehicle. The two parts of a metaphor or simile. The tenor is the original subject being described, and the vehicle is the image or concept used to describe it. Example, in Life is a Highway, life is the tenor, highway is the vehicle. Simile, a comparison of two distinct things using explicit words of comparison, such as like, as, or than. Symbol, a concrete object, person, or situation that represents an abstract idea beyond its literal meaning. Metonymy, a figure of speech in which one word or phrase is substituted for another with which it is closely associated. Example, using the crown to refer to a monarch. Synecdoche, a specific type of metonymy where a part of something is used to represent the whole. Example, all hands on deck, or vice versa. Analogy, an extended comparison between two different things to explain or clarify a complex idea by comparing it to something familiar. Apostrophe, a direct address to an absent person, an abstract concept, an inanimate object, or an idea. Example, O death, where is thy sting? Allegory, a narrative work, story, poem, or picture in which characters, events, and settings stand for underlying moral, spiritual, or political meanings. Reification, the act of treating an abstract concept, idea, or non-physical thing as if it were a concrete, physical object. Personification, giving human qualities, emotions, or intentional actions to non-human things, abstract ideas, or inanimate objects. Animism, giving life, spirit, or animal-like characteristics to inanimate objects or natural phenomena. Hyperbole, an intentional and extreme exaggeration used for emphasis or dramatic effect, not meant to be taken literally. Anticlimax, a disappointing end to an exciting or impressive series of events, a sudden transition from a lofty or serious tone to something trivial or ludicrous. Conceit, an elaborate, highly complex, or surprisingly far-fetched metaphor that establishes a striking parallel between two very dissimilar things. Allusion, an indirect or brief reference to a well-known person, event, historical period, literary work, or piece of art. Paradox, a statement that seems self-contradictory or absurd on the surface, but reveals a deeper or unexpected truth upon closer examination. Litotes, a form of deliberate understatement that uses a negative statement to express a positive affirmation. For example, not bad to mean good. Irony, a stylistic device or situation where there is a striking contrast between expectation and reality, or between what is said and what is meant. Dramatic irony, a plot device where the audience or reader knows crucial information that the characters in the story do not. Verbal irony, a figure of speech where a speaker says one thing but means the exact opposite. Sarcasm, a sharp, mocking, or satirical form of verbal irony intended to insult, ridicule, or cause humor at someone's expense. Figures of sound. Rhyme, the repetition of identical or similar terminal sounds in two or more words, usually at the end of lines in poems. Onomatopoeia, words that imitate or recreate the natural sound associated with the action or object they describe. For example, buzz, hiss, boom. Consonants, the repetition of identical or similar consonant sounds within close proximity, particularly at the middle or end of words. Alliteration, the repetition of the initial consonant sounds in a sequence of nearby words. Assonance, the repetition of identical or similar vowel sounds within nearby words that end with different consonants. Cacophony, the intentional use of harsh, discordant, or jarring sounds to create a disturbing or chaotic effect in language. Euphony, the use of harmonious, pleasing, and smooth-sounding words and phrases. Figures of syntax. Balance, a sentence structure made up of two or more parts that are equal in length, importance, and grammatical structure. Antithesis, a device in which two contrasting or opposing ideas are intentionally placed side by side using parallel grammatical structure. For example, speech is silver, but silence is gold. Chiasmus, a rhetorical structure where the order of terms or grammatical structures in the first clause is reversed in the second clause. Example, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Poetry terms. English or Shakespearean sonnet, a 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter consisting of 3 quatrains and a final rhyming couplet, typically following the rhyme scheme AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. Italian or Petrarchan sonnet, a 14-line poem divided into an octave, 8 lines, presenting a problem or question, and a sestet, 6 lines, offering a resolution, traditionally rhyming A, B, B, A, B, B, A, followed by C, D, E, C, D, E, or C, D, C, D, C, D. Scanning or scansion, the act of analyzing a poem's meter by marking stressed and unstressed syllables to determine its rhythmic pattern. Meter, recurring structured pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables that create the rhythm of a poetic line. Feet, the basic unit of poetic measurement, usually consisting of 1 stressed syllable and 1 or 2 unstressed syllables. Iambic, a poetic foot consisting of an unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable. Example, today or above. Trochaic, a poetic foot consisting of stressed syllable followed by an unstressed syllable. Example, poet or daily. Dactylic, a poetic foot consisting of 1 stressed syllable followed by 2 unstressed syllables. For example, poetry or happily. Anapestic, a poetic foot consisting of 2 unstressed syllables followed by 1 stressed syllable. Example, intervene or understand. Spondaic, a poetic foot consisting of 2 consecutive stressed syllables. Example, true blue or heartbreak. Pyrrhic, a poetic foot consisting of 2 consecutive unstressed syllables. Example, the words in a or of the, often functioning as a Pyrrhic foot when placed between stressed syllables in a line of poetry. Syllables, individual units of spoken language containing a single vowel sound, forming the building blocks of poetic meter. Quatrain, a stanza or complete poem consisting of 4 lines. Couplet, a pair of consecutive lines of verse, usually rhyming and having the same meter. Free verse, poetry that does not follow a consistent meter, rhyme, scheme, or set structural pattern. Blank verse, unrhymed poetry written in a regular meter, almost always iambic pentameter. Image, vivid descriptive language that appeals directly to one or more of the 5 senses: sight, sound, touch, taste, or smell.